On Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney used Facebook to extend best wishes to Christians across Alberta and around the world as they begin the penitential season of Lent on Ash Wednesday. While Premier Kenney was sending out his Ash Wednesday greetings, Pastor James Coates was locked up in an Alberta prison for exercising his charter freedoms of conscience, religion, association, expression, and peaceful assembly. Like most people, Pastor Coates and his Grace Life Church near Edmonton were very concerned about the COVID virus back in March of 2020, when governments listened to the wildly inaccurate predictions of Neil Ferguson of Imperial College. Professor Ferguson claimed that COVID was an unusually deadly killer that we should all be very afraid of. 11 months later, and we know from Statistics Canada that death rates in 2020 were very much in line with Canadian death rates in 2019, 2018, 2017, and prior years. Not what you would expect from an unusually deadly killer, is it? If COVID was as deadly as the politicians and chief medical officers claim it to be, you would see a significant increase in deaths in 2020, right? We now know that COVID threatens primarily seniors in long-term care homes who are already dying of cancer, emphysema, heart disease, and other serious illnesses. For children, youth, young adults, COVID poses no threat. For about 90% of the population, you have a greater chance of dying in a car accident than you do of dying from COVID. Yet our politicians failed to protect vulnerable seniors in nursing homes. Instead, they imposed harmful and destructive lockdowns on the entire population, forcing millions of Canadians into unemployment, poverty, and despair. We also know today that COVID is not spread significantly by asymptomatic people. And I've asked the Alberta government to provide the public with the science that the government is relying on to support the government's belief that healthy people are dangerous spreaders of the virus. I'm still waiting. Like so many other people in Alberta and around the world, Pastor Coates understands that the violation of our human rights and human dignity by lockdown measures is not based on science and evidence. Politicians have yet to put forward evidence that lockdowns have saved lives. Yes, politicians claim that lockdowns are saving lives, but they're not putting forward evidence to support that claim. In the face of charter-violating policies that have never been voted on or approved by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta, Pastor Coates has continued to exercise his charter freedoms by holding church services. And now he's in jail. He's not allowed to see any family or other visitors for the first 14 days of his confinement, so effectively he is in solitary confinement. Now, I understand that Premier Jason Kenney did not personally order Pastor Coates to be arrested and imprisoned, but it's entirely because of Jason Kenney's laws that Pastor Coates is in jail today. So, will Premier Kenney do the right thing and change the laws so as to stop violating our charter rights and freedoms? I'm John Carpe. Thanks for listening.